with Iwer Johnson, the founder of the healthiest corner on earth, located at number 92 East Drive, Chamflo, every Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. live on The Street 919 FM, where he shows you that healing the body's temple is easier than anyone would have led you to believe.
Grand uprising, my people, grand uprising. It's a fabulous, fantabulous day, and it's a one beautiful day to be alive. Grand uprising, my people. Woo! Heat in the place. You see that soca? That's a 2026 soca. My boy Oscar B, we crazy the place. All right, so let me just say this. I had a lovely weekend. Oscar called me. Oscar had like 4 gigs. Y'all bear with me a little bit. Don't worry, I'll come in with some of my information. Oscar had like 4 gigs on Saturday night only. So we went on this boat ride, which was great. Juve Junkies, boy, was fantastic. That is the best boat ride in history ever. I don't say okay what nobody want to say. If you had never been on a boat ride, that was a signature one. If you've never been one, then you missed one Saturday gone. Juve Junkie, bad. Oscar went there and turned up the place too. Met my boy Anselm Douglas, didn't see him in a long while, so that was a nice meeting again. And then one of my boys who is a customs officer, didn't meet him in a while. I wouldn't call his name. So grand uprising, my people. Loving the house to everybody. Good morning, good morning. Good morning Tobago, my Bago people. Good morning, my Dalafordian, the village in which I was born. Proud to be, always will be proud to be. And Tobago, I love y'all, my Bago people, my love. Good morning to my siblings, good morning to everybody. Everybody, good morning. As usual, I always send out my greetings to blessed morning to the police department, blessed morning to the fire department, our army, and to the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard had a lovely, another signature events there. It was some fabulous, bright men and women. Man, listen. Proud to be, and listen, I am proud, very proud of my country. I'm very proud of my twin island, and I make no apologies for that. I love my country, and when it comes to supporting my people, I'll do it unapologetically. The Coast Guard had a nice signature event this weekend, and the brothers there was just so distinguished, well spoken. You know, we on purpose, you know what I mean? So grand uprising again. Good morning to the Coast Guard department. I always send it out. Everybody knows that. Every morning I give greetings. Maybe this would be a first greetings to some of the ladies and gentlemen that I would have privileged to meet this weekend. It was a lovely event. I wish they could do it again. Signature event, class. I say class of 2025. You guys do it again. So good morning again. Good morning to Mr. Guevara. Good morning to Mr. Alexander and all the people. I could see the Guevara effect is in effect. Good morning to you. Again, you guys will know my premise is to help you all with the chronic disease stuff. This is what I do. And I think if people remember last week how I highlighted the Army veterans who did they walk around the actual island of Tobago the week before that, and I would have highlighted that walk. And I'm very proud of people who make that step. Too many of our servicemen are dying, and I pull no punches saying that. Too much of our servicemen and women are dying, and nobody's talking about it. It's like this secret stuff going on here. It's like we're so ashamed of something, whatever. Like, listen, again, for this section, I am talking about this again unapologetically because it is declassified, so I can talk about it. But I put my spin to it. Again, the last 4 years we would have seen the pandemic, and we were forced into something, and I said we because I'm human being with everybody else. That create a problem, and that create a problem for us down the road. Nobody's talking about that, but Mr. Johnson is talking about that, and I will continue to talk about that. But that spike protein you can get out of your system because I have things like nanokinase and separate. I got a whole bunch of stuff that can help you out with that. You just got to call my number. Let me give it right now at the top of the hour, and then I'll give it to you again. Once again, to those distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my brother, I think you know who you are. I talked to you last night. Don't want to call your name. Distinguished brother of the Coast Guard, right there, right up. Wonder if I'm allowed to say the rank. Maybe I should keep that a secret too. Secret create mystery. Mystery create love. Love in the house, my brother. Again, So this is my phone numbers as follows: 736-3962. This is Mr. Johnson from the healthiest corner on earth, located at 92 East Drive in Champlain. 736-3962 and 709-8450. 709-8450. If you want to make a contribution to the show, you can call 342-0081, 342-0081. And for all the people who are accustomed locking on to the street 91.9, I think you should know these numbers offhand. All right? Or 466-5391, 466-5391. I'm not going to spend much time talking about this because I want to recap on something that I would have spoke about last week again. But let me just say this once again. Congratulations to the veterans, my boy Keith O'Neill and the guys who organize this walk. And I urge you guys, there's a walk. The Lambo Credit Union is having a walk on the 14th. Well, the 15th is actually, and they will have what you call the day when they actually highlighting is like on the 14th, and then the actual walk is going to be on the 15th. It's called the Moonlight Glow Walk, and they highlighting diabetes, which is a subject that very, very close to my heart because too much of us are dying from metabolic disease, and we can do better. We need to start putting our trust in people who benefit off our sickness. And let me repeat that again. We need to stop putting our trust in people who benefit off our sickness. This isn't an indictment to my nurses and doctors out there. I want to just make that emphatically clear. This has nothing to do with you guys. This has to do with the fraternity, the underpinning of the fraternity in which you operate. Can't blame me for it. But I'm just saying, we need to be woke and we need to think for ourselves. People who can't think for themselves become owners of other people. And let me just say this again. When other people love you more than you love you, you have problems. You have problems, and you need to stop that nonsense. You need to lift your head up and rock your shit back. Read my status this morning. I want to have some time. I would read it. Kyle doing something there for me, and when I get the phone back, I would read out my status to my people. No, I just was telling you doing something with the phone. That's why I wouldn't read it. But when I get back, I would. So again, let me just highlight a couple of things again. This weekend was fabulous, but let me just say this: my premise in wanting to highlight this and get my passion, my dharma out to as much people as I possibly can is because I, in my heart of hearts, know my purpose on the face of this earth, and that is to help people to extend their health profile. All right? So good morning again, my sibling, good morning, and all my people in Tobago. Me love me Tobago people, me love me island, and of course, I'm a very proud citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, and a very passionate one too. I'm one of those people who see the cracks in the wall. I don't the masses, I don't follow the masses. I don't read society script. I just want people to get that very, very straight. I don't read society script. I don't break no rules. So if you have your rules that you enforce, please make your rules straight across the border, because when you have inconsistencies in your rules, you create problems for other people, especially people like me. I ain't trying to hear that. No inconsistencies. Do what you need to do. All right? That doesn't bring an indictment to our fraternity or police department. Or, I don't know, because you can't have a rule for policing work. That goes with what you see in front of you and your discretion and how you chose to handle that particular situation at that particular time. I think that goes for every kind of service that you're in. Because you got to think. That's why you train. That's why you're in the position you're in. But again, good. And I lift up my soldiers, those guys, those veterans who continue to do what they need to do. All right, so let me start with this narrative. And again, let me just pump this story out to you guys. A narrative do not have to be truth. It don't have to be true. It just has to be believable. And then you get hooked. So the person who can talk the best and shift you where you are emotionally, you will be in trouble. That's how pastors win people. That's how politicians win people. That's how it works. You have to choose to see the world. You have to choose to see the world in a beautiful place, because it's easy to carry you in a place where you could be crazy. So I'm not advocating anything. I'm just saying dig deep within who you are, within your own self. Find that creator in you and think for yourself. All of us has that ability to do. But we have to learn. There are some lessons you can only learn through a storm. Deal with your storm. And I always say this, and let me say it again before I move forward with my pathologies and stuff that I want to talk about this morning. I always say this. This world is not about being perfect. It doesn't exist on this plane. It cannot and will not ever exist on this plane. If your premise is to strive for perfection, you need to ride out, because that ain't never going to happen. Now, what I see is wholeness. And that wholeness is accepting who you are. The nastiest, dirty, conniving, duplicitous, pompous, pious, and capricious side of you, you need to embrace that, deal with that. Because not one single human being on the face of this planet, none, is qualified to derogotize another human being. None of us are. And if you listen to what I just said, if you curve back, you go within and look at those demons in you, those dark, those shadow, the jumpy in you. If you do that, every time you want to say something negative about another person, you'll go, oops, because you'll be talking to yourself, doing that nonsense. So none of us are qualified to do that. Accept the rubbish in you, the evil in you. Embrace that. That's wholeness. And this life and world will be a better place. So good morning. Blessed morning, Mrs. Spencer. How are you this morning, my darling? Hope all is well. Miss Batson, Miss Yolanda Batson. Good morning to you, sweetie. Miss Gettins, good morning. How art thou? Good morning to Nell. And good morning again to my sibling. Folks, I'm going to talk about cholesterol again this morning because I get bum rushed this weekend with this again. Now, there are other things that I want to touch on, but I'm not sure how deep or how long this conversation will go on for. And if I have to talk about those things, I will do them weekend. Again, I extend my service, my knowledge. Again, let me say this. Mr. Johnson, don't profess to know everything. I don't know everything. I consider myself an intelligent man because I know I do not know everything. Some of us didn't know that we didn't know. We still don't know that we don't know. And we still trying to find out if we know that we didn't know that we didn't know. But who knows not and knows not that he knows not, we know what happening there. So, Mr. Johnson, as a matter of fact, I don't know nothing. But here what I'm willing to extend. And not because I talk about a particular subject matter means that I know everything. It means that I know what I'm talking about with that particular subject matter slash narrative. And I'm going to invite anyone out there, let me say this again, counter Mr. Johnson narrative. That is all you have to do. I am not absolute in what I say. I'm never absolute in anything because I'm not dogmatic in my thinking. All I am saying is, if you think my narrative is inept, come and counter it. I welcome that debate. And I invite that this morning as I talk about this situation here with cholesterol. I'm going to go over it again because too many people suffering with it. And I get bum rush again this weekend. And I said, when I say I get bum rush, I'm serious get bum rush with this weekend. This brother and his wife and some family member, like they went off on me. Like they literally went off on me on the phone. It's not like when the brother called me, says, listen, I'm putting you on speakerphone and whatever. He kind of believed in what I was saying. The rest, they wasn't even trying to hear me because they believe in the pharmaceutical industry. They believe in the stuff like that. And nothing wrong with that. Let me just tell you this again. Your belief is not truth. Once many of us get that, you'll understand the road you're walking down. Your belief isn't truth. Your belief is just that, your belief. And you can hold on to that as much as you want. It's your belief. Because here what happened. You can't give what you don't have. If you have an orange, right? You have an orange. You hold it in your hand. You could pray to whatever divine intervention you feel you can pray to all day long. Whatever religious group you belong to, whatever creed, race, whatever it is, you could hold that orange and pray all day long. Cut it and squeeze it. Orange juice still come out there. Let that one sink in. So your belief is not truth. It is your belief. So my brethren asked me this story again. He says, Jono, can you go over the stuff with cholesterol? So I went back. I said, my brother, cholesterol is a construction material for the human body. The liver makes it. That's the job of the liver. It makes enough cholesterol. It makes the amount of cholesterol that it wants. Well, why do they always tell us our cholesterol level has to be at a particular stuff and this whatever? I said, I think you know the answer for that. They didn't tell us And I'm not saying they as the doctors that has to do what they need to do, you know. No, I'm talking about who they have to take instructions from. The slide deck paper they have to read from. When you have to read from a slide deck. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about following status quo. No, no, no. I'm not talking about that. I am talking about a person, a people in a fraternity that is only 112 years old, which is John D. Rockefeller's, that implements certain rules. And if you guys would have read there is something called the Flexner Report. Anybody, just Google the Flexner Report and you'll see the pack of nonsense that went on there and why they had to do what they had to do for today. And why this narrative is indelibly printed in our minds that we believe cholesterol is something bad for us. Cholesterol is something bad for us? But let me tell you something, brother man. This is a promotion to sell statin drugs. I'm talking about this because it's declassified. And it has nobody could edit what I'm saying here now, even on the air, even on a live on a YouTube. They can't edit what I'm saying here now because it's declassified. And I go to declassified information so they won't come and deplatform me and try to bust my head. There are lots more information that I could talk about that aren't declassified. They may come for me then. But until then, I digress. Cholesterol is a construction material. And before I go again, too much thing in my head. I want to extend my service to all my people out there again, and the departments, the Coast Guard, the Army, the police, the fire, all you call me. Too much we are dead, stupidly. We just dying because, or we're not well. We just functioning from like 45 of our true self, 45% of our true self. Where's the other 55%? Because we put our trust in something that our body doesn't miss in. Your body missing medicine? Your body miss any pharmaceutical medication, any pharmaceutical substrate? Your body missing that? You make with that? Your body miss that? Is there any element that is in your body that is missing from a pharmaceutical thing? No, 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 none. And again, I'm not knocking people. I'm opening your guys, your eyes. Go and do your research. Do your research, because if that happens, if more of us open our eyes and we awoke, then we will be a healthier society. Anyhow, let me go on. So we talk about this cholesterol, and I said, Breds, the cholesterol is a construction material for the human body. All right, and I'm going to go over it like I'm always going to go over it again, because people, because the narrative is indelibly printed on our minds. Just like when the word indelible means, get wet concrete and draw something in it. When it dry, you're going and see what they, until you crack up that concrete, you can't get off what you mark. That's the indelible imprint I'm talking about. So we truly believe cholesterol killing us. We really, really believe that story. That is the most inept, liar, cruel statement on the face of the planet. That cholesterol, which was made by our Creator, which was given to us through our ancestors, passed down through our ancestors, that is something that kills us. Why is this happening? Because it's a promotion for statin drugs. So let me give you the mechanism of action. What happens with statin drugs when you take it? When you take a statin drugs, it inhibits your liver from producing the actual cholesterol, which causes inflammation in your liver. Let that one sink in too. Because the question is not whether or not statin drugs does reduce your cholesterol. That is not the debate here, and I don't get into those emotional things. Does statin drugs lower cholesterol? It absolutely does. To what degree? To your detriment. To your detriment. Process that for a bit. So let me go back again before I go forward. Cholesterol. Our brains is made from myelin. Folks, listen to this again, because a lot of people who would have listened to me before know I always bring this up a lot of times, and I'm going to repeat myself because most of my program is going to be interwoven. It's going to overlap, and I don't mind that, because repeating what I need to repeat, I know why I'm doing it, because we have a fragmented psyche that have selective memory, and we choose to remember what we want to remember and forget what we want to forget. We have a very selective memory, and it's short too. So let me repeat myself. Say, hear me again. Cholesterol, our brain, there's something called myelin in our brain, and the brain is made up of 75% of that. Well, that particular matter is 100% cholesterol. 100%. As the brothers in the States will be saying, 100% cholesterol. Rest that down. Our central nervous system, every single nerve in our central nervous system is encapsulated with cholesterol. Therefore, it's made from cholesterol. Rest that down too. Our sexual hormone, estradiol, estradiol, progesterone, epidendrosterone, and the list goes on, all is made from cholesterol. Well, let us rest that down too. We have 40 trillion cells in our body. 40 trillions. That are 200 different types of cell. So when I say 40 trillion, if you go through the division, it's 200 different type of cell. If one cell go bad, that affects the retina, you have a problem. If one cell go bad, that affects your knee, you have some kind of arthritis problem. That's what I mean, right? That is why the word specialist, let me go to a specialist, is inept. I will leave that there for a bit. But every of those 40 trillion cells, every single one of those cells is made from cholesterol. So let me just give you guys this notion. Let me give you this facts. Let me give you this knowledge. It don't have to be your truth, but let me give this to you. Without the presence of cholesterol, there will be no cells. Without cells, no human being. Full stop. I think I should repeat that again. Let me freeze that moment and repeat it again. Without the presence of cholesterol, without our creator, who or whatever your concept of your divine / God is, without that knowledge, without our biochemistry knowledge, the body temple, without cholesterol, there would be no cells. Without any cells, no human being. Period. Talk done. That's not even up for debate. Yet, there are people who put an indictment on you and tell you, all you need to take this for your cholesterol level. That is why we are dying out. And your cholesterol is supposed to be a little low level. Let me go a little further. For the brothers out there, all you listen to me carefully. Listen to Mr. Johnson carefully. With a deprivation of cholesterol, we going to be impotent. With the deprivation of cholesterol, we're going to be impotent. Let that one land. And there we are following a narrative, consistently consistent, that cholesterol causes osteosclerosis. Here's the magic of here's the magic of our biochemistry. This product or construction material need to be moved around in our body. HDL, VLDL, LDL. It has to be moved around. So the wisdom of our physiology has to find a way to cargo this vital substrate through our body so that it can go to different places and make themselves nice. Because you see, not every cell in the human body has the capacity or is synthesized with its own ability to make all this cholesterol. The wisdom of the physiology. You have people out here who playing God like hear what they're doing. Hear what they're doing. They believe they create that word, although it's a concept. So they decide what number your cholesterol going to be. And my question to them is, the cholesterol medication that you decide, that indictment that you decide, people should be taking those cholesterol medication. I want to ask you a question very straightforward to the pharmaceutical product company, not our darling nurses and doctors. Here's my question. The cholesterol, the statin drugs have sense to know where it's going to go to dissolve what you call good cholesterol and bad cholesterol? Does the statin drugs have sense to know what is bad cholesterol to destroy? If you believe that, not only that you believe the cow jump over the moon, but you dangerously lack a viewpoint of knowledge. So you take a statin drugs. You have a cholesterol, a molecule in your body that is extremely good for you, because in our view, the people who understand and do all the study, peer-reviewed papers, I got tons, I could bring it. Actually, I won't bring the peer-reviewed papers. That might get some other people in trouble. Meta-analysis and all these blind placebo studies, you want to doubt them, right? That the wisdom of our physiology is inept, and you know better than our body. Why don't you take? Because most of the people who say take cholesterol medication, they ain't taking none. That's just a payday. They ain't taking none. So what you deduce from this is that the statin drugs have enough sense to go and compartmentalize which of these cholesterol is good and which is bad. Let me left the good one here. I'll deal with the bad one here. Look, folks, please, listen. People, what do you think for yourself, please? And I'm putting these information up here as I'm a fitness expert and an herbalist practitioner. And let me just preface that. I am a fitness expert and a self-proclaimed herbalist practitioner. I study constantly. It's my drug. I'm addicted to it. It's my dharma. And I keep telling everybody, I found this through pain. I've always this way since I was growing up. Ask my sibling and ask the people who are around me. But I found this through pain. And everyone who's passionate about something, find it through pain. Make no question about that. That is why you invest so much in it. That's why it means so much to you. Because when you hit a rock stone, challenges is not anything to you. Challenges come like opportunity consistently. So here it is. The body has to find a way to cargo this substrate. So this great mechanism, remember, if you take oil, let's say you take some olive oil and you throw it in some water, you see how quick, sorry about that. You see how quick both of them decide that they don't agree? They repel each other instantaneously. Well, in retrospect, well, let me, for lack of a better word, cholesterol, part of it is hydrophobic, part is hydrophilic. So this beautiful mechanism and the wisdom of our physiology find a way to put both together and transport this cargo throughout the body. And it goes where it needs. Remember, I told you just now, some of these cells are not synthesized with their own ability to make their own cholesterol. Okay? They can't do it. So we need that. And this happens to every part of the human body. You know where the trip-off come from? They're trying to measure a metric by the way it look. You could look at a man and tell him, just watch him and say, well, boy, you have bad cholesterol. Can you do that? Because that's what they're doing. And how they get to that number, Palos, Mr. Johnson can't tell you. Other than it's a made-up number. Studies would have shown from even allopathic surgeons, studies would have shown 100% that when they did autopsy, the people with the highest cholesterol lived the longest. Let that land. What's screwing us up today is ultra-processed foods. And let me tell you again, let me repeat myself, why cholesterol get blamed. Cholesterol get blamed because I told you before, it's a construction material. I am cross-referencing this. So let me remind you again. Every single decision you made daily, every single decision you made daily in your life, every single decision, every single one, cross-reference how your heart and your biochemistry will look, dictate, and how you age. So be careful. Be careful. Them big outlets where you're running and buying up fried food that has heterocyclic amine, acrylamides, and all that stuff that have in your biochemistry not functioning properly, not smelling right, you ain't feeling good, you're half dead during the course of the day, your insulin is quite up the roof, it takes 3 and 4 hours to come down. Rest that down for a bit. Rest that down. Because Mr. Johnson have some diet modification sheet. You can call me for free. I'll WhatsApp one for you. And when you look at it, stay away from all the foods on that sheet. That is all I ask you to do. Don't ask me where you should eat because we got problems. Stay away from the foods that I show you on that paper. You have a plethora of other things that you can eat. Use your own head. If the only thing you could eat is to walk into one of those big fried food places or line up to get a staple in the morning with a Coke, if those are the only thing you can eat, you be my guest. But don't call me and ask me, inept sideways conversation with imprecise language about what I eat. Because I will tell you just what you should eat. Let me leave that down for a little bit. I keep saying that the process of the cholesterol and the role it plays and why they blame it, hear what hinges on it. Hear what? Let me put it in this context, because I always use the fire department, right? I'm going to put it in this context. Let's say that there is a situation in our country that requires the Coast Guard, the Army, the fire department, and our regiment. It requires all these guys to come out because we need the effort of these people. However, all we need is 4 top officers from these different sections. That is all we need. But for some reason, it requires a little bit more. And because of that, a barrage of officers flock to the place. Now, here I was going to ask you, does that in any way negate the initial reason why they were there? So because plenty of them go, they cause the problem. Process that. Why I say this, causation is not correlation. Cholesterol get blamed because we eat food that oxidizes our artery walls and the endothelium inside of our capillaries. They find themselves into artery walls, and we eat all these oxidization food and it cracks the artery wall. It creates problems. Sometimes it bleeds. It can cause a stroke or a heart attack. With the wisdom of our physiology, cholesterol races to the area and put a bandage on it. Now, obviously, if it's in the artery wall and cholesterol just stops you from dying, it wants you to live because it's an adaptation so your body can live. Is that what caused your problem? So correlation now become causation? Just like when they summons the rest of officer because all of them run it, they cause the problem? But you see, when a person can pump a narrative and make you believe you're not going to see truth, all you're going to listen to is that believable narrative. That is why our world is the way it is. Why? Because we are comfortable with safety and comfort rather than truth. We embrace that every day. We rather comfort and safety. Forget the truth. After all, we hear it all the time. It becomes believable. Well, they say I could only eat 3 eggs. They say I could only eat this. Good morning, my cousin Scrappy, my brother Scrappy, my first cousin, who retired very high up from in the army. Good morning, my brother. I know you lock on there. You're out in Caroni doing your thing, man. Love in the house, bro. Please don't go by Scrappy and ask for no Coca-Cola. And don't do that. Don't do that. You have problems with him. Don't do that. He will send you flying. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. We are in this whirlwind, this stuff where cholesterol becomes a demon. Cholesterol becomes the antichrist because they want to promote statin drugs. Let me say this again. This has nothing to do with my nurses and doctors. Not at all. But there are some humorous people. There are some humorous people who are pious, pompous, and capricious that will say, I'm a madman, because there are plenty of them that say that I'm a madman. Those people, come and have a debate with me. And I don't want no debate on the radio. I want it on TV. Come and have a debate. Well, this is not me sounding pompous, eh? This is me giving you confidence that this brother could make anyone who is willing to walk the road that I walk, make them feel better about themselves when it comes to your health profile. So I'm going to ask you this question now. Is the absence of disease good health? Answer that for me. Process it for me. Is the absence of disease good health? That answer is an unequivocal no. The absence of disease could never be good health. Good health is your body's ability to crack any virus, any pathogen, any type of bacteria that comes to your body, break the neck of it and moves on. That's good health. Many of us can't do that. We fit. Sure we fit. Until a piece of virus hit you, until a bad cold hit you. We get caught up with that. Fitness is not your health profile. There's a different story. How you age chronologically and biologically are two different things. It are people who 65, like myself, let me put it out there for you. I am 65 years young. It have people who 65 and it have people who are 25 or 45. If you do a dye contrast study, if you do a heart study, the flexibility and pliability of one's heart, you will see that in terms of biological aging, the 45 look like he half dead because his heart is all blazed up. There is glycation and corrosion and it oxidizes, whereas 65 look even younger than 45. Again, let that land, because that's where we get confused. And how does oxidization comes into the body where cholesterol come to save it? You can get from a spike protein. Yeah, listen good what I just tell you. A burst of spike protein will give you inflammation in your artery, on the heart, and in your lungs. Let me repeat that. Let me repeat it. A burst of spike protein could and would increase your chances of inflammatory disease. And that will kill you. Stroke, heart attack. You can come by, Mr. Johnson, and we can sit and talk. I offer a free consultation. You know, every day I offer a free consultation. You know what breathes my heart? The people who close to me knows this. Too much of our servicemen are dying silently and nobody talking about it. They're done under 24 or forget that 24. They're done under 27 or 4 stress. We gotta take care of them. They need people like myself. But people like myself always get castigated. But people like myself, he's a madman. Because I'm not following the narrative. I am not following societal script. I am operating outside the bounds of status quo. I get pelted out from jobs because of that. I ain't following no status quo. I'm not breaking the rules. I'm not bringing the fraternity / company into disrepute. I'm just able to think for myself. And you don't like that, me and no pop it and pressing up for you. I have a mind where I can think on my own. I'm saying again, I'm going to say it again. It bothers me. It pains my heart because this is not close home. Too many servicemen are dying. Too many. Young men and women are dying. It bothers me. It hurt me. It bruises my inside. Sometimes I feel like I have fever inside because we're not talking about it. It becomes this big silence. All of a sudden. When you're on purpose with your life, you're fearless. You're not stupid, you're fearless. I told my brother, I said, Wax, do not argue with a stupid person. They will beat you with experience every time. And you would look at yourself and wondering if you have clothes on when they're done with you. You see, a fool that is confident. A confident fool is a dangerous man, especially man or woman, especially if they're in power. Most times it's men. I pull no punch in saying that. They're dangerous when they're in power because you're confident in your foolishness. You're going to kill a whole bunch of people. The fool, however, that isn't confident, you can deal with him. Because he ain't too sure. He know when stuff probably going to bust his head, so you back off a little bit. Process that message that I just gave you. We are following a narrative here that creates a deleterious effect on our health every day by the foods that we eat. And I will tell you, I'll be the first to tell you this. We cannot avoid everything. We just can't. But there are a whole bunch of stuff that we can avoid. And this is why I come in. This is why I come in. And then again, like I was saying before, you have all this inept information. Or you could only eat 2 eggs. Eat 3 eggs. You see, that nail home the narrative that cholesterol is really bad. Listen, eat eggs till you start to resemble eggs. Eggs is one of the most potent foods we can eat on the face of this earth. Eggs. And mind you, when we look at ourselves, we can't fathom that we are made from food. Those 4 trillion cells that I just explained to you, they come from food. This human being, this biochemistry, this clay that houses spiritual thing that we live in, everything is made from food. 100% food. Look at a baby in 3D from in the womb, 100% food. But narrative being pumping out that is 112 years old supersedes what our ancestors have been doing. And because we are far removed from our ancestral genome, we will suffer, we will continue to suffer, and eventually we go dead. We're going on dead. Because as I said before, and I'll say it again, 300 and something thousand Homo sapien walk the face of this earth. This is the sickest human being has ever been. The sickest. People dying the youngest. The most of the diseases rattle. And they pump out the most vaccine and tell you could find salvation in those things. All the time. We dying. Ineptly. The technology is at the best ever in life. The United States of America, I could tell you, I lived there. I lived in the United States. I lived in Canada. The premise is certain stuff that they use in terms of how they see health. And they pride themselves in technologically savviness and also the data of health. And yet more people dying every single day. 250,000 people die every single day in the United States of America. Let that sink in. And in Trinidad and Tobago, as simple as you see it here, between 24 and 33 people die every day. I could tell you, I do the research. Ladies and gentlemen, you see when I get on like this here and then I start a grandstand, things start to go on. But let me just, Carlos just now, I want to see if I, in my, my WhatsApp, if there's any greetings I can send out here. Have a call? We'll go through. Caller, you live.
Hi, morning, brother. How are you?
I'm doing great, my brother. How you doing?
Okay, I'm fine. You're on the countdown here. What I just have...
You're gone. My brother, you might have to call back, you know, I lost your WhatsApp. Call me back. Please call me back. Hi, blessed morning, You call him back?
Yeah, I lost it for a second.
Yeah, go through.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Yes, hello? Yeah, I'll make it quick. If we don't want to, they have to get worse. Love the corned beef and the sausage and the frosted flakes and this. Start to listen to you. And I will say it openly. I'm not saying that.
Good, but you always having good contribution, and this morning you're breaking up bad, boy. Good. Boy, my brother, you're cutting off again, man. Miss Julia Mirage, good morning to you, my dear. Thank you so much for your kind words. Keep standing tall, my darling. Keep standing tall. My brother, fire officer, my AC man, good morning to you, my brother. You're a boss, man. Nobody can touch you. Let me see who this is. Mr. Johnson, can I have a dial sheet, please? Most definitely, I'll send that for you, sweetheart. Not a problem. Name is Asher. You got it. Good morning, my darling niece. Toya, how you doing, sweetie? Loving the house, baby girl. Let me see who again. Michelle, good morning to you. Blessed morning in Tobago. Cabo, my brethren. Cabo, I go on, brother. Loving the house, man. I always, you know, I would like to acknowledge my people who listen to my program because, again, most people don't usually call in, and I get this all the time. We rather just sit and listen to you, brother. We just rather, and I'm humbled. I'm humbled by that. And another lady just sent me some kind words. They said, "Thank you for your words of wisdom. Very wise word. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me." And again, I don't, like I said, I don't profess to know everything. I don't, and I know that. I know that I don't know everything. I can't know everything. But this is it. I want to read my status for you this morning, people. I want you to listen to the status good. All right? And it means something to me why I want to read the status for you this morning. So listen up. You were born enough. Divine breath in motion. Purpose wrapped in skin. Those scars, I could tell you from personal experience, they are not your shame. They are your proof. Proof you've been through the fire and still rise and shining. Stop shrinking to fit into small places. Walk like the earth made room for you because it did. You are not broken. You are being built. Not behind, just in becoming. So lift your head, rock your shoulders back, and remember, those low days didn't destroy you. They revealed you. This is your awakening, your grand uprising, my people. I remember my brother and I was having a conversation again. Same wax, that's my boy, my love brother. I love all my siblings, but we just have a special kind of conversation all the time. That we just go at each other and kiss and hug up quick. And the Buju Banton song about what you call them? The Buju song, Kyle, with situations reveal you, and your situation makes you who, something makes me who I am. A Buju song. People know what I'm talking about, and what situations make me who I am. But I said, brother, it doesn't make you who you are. In my view, it reveals who you are. And I think that's why I brought up the orange stuff. Whoever you are, no matter what. And the truth comes out when you're in a corner. That's how things work. But ladies and gentlemen, that time is almost there. Yeah? Situation makes me who I am. Buju song, man. I think that is the song. I'm almost there at that time of morning. When I start grandstanding like this is what happens. The time just fly by. So again, good morning to all my people. Good morning to my friends and my family, the people in Tobago, all my dog, my people. Good morning, man. Good morning, and grand uprising to y'all. Let me see who here. Good morning to my sis, Allison. Good morning to you, darling. Hope all is well. I would listen to your voice note after I get off the air, my darling sister. Allison Johnson, morning to you, darling. So good morning to everybody. So, again, my time is up on the air. I'm not talking about my time is up. I think I still have plenty of time on the face of this earth here. And I think I'm doing really well in terms of how I take care of myself. I have a few injuries that I am nursing. I wouldn't like to tell you that. That is what I did not know sense, training hard. And I do suffer with a sciatica ever so often. But I'm dealing with that. But in terms of my health and chronic stuff, I feel real good. I feel like I'm lying, Jed. I feel like if I'm still in my 30s. So let me just repeat again so that you all know something, so that you all know that I know something that many people doesn't know. I'm 65 years young. That is 6 decades, 0.5. And I'm going to do the best I can to continue. And I will do whatever I have to do in order to help other people along the way. All right, with then. Carl, how much more time I get, my brother? Just signal it for me. Nice. And until such time, you know, again, let me just say this, in this life, we all need each other to be each other. Without each other, we are simply not each other. We need each other. Stop bad-mouthing one another. That now go work. And that's not doing you any good. It's not putting you in any good place. When you sit down and you want to bad-mouth somebody, it just tells who you are, right? It just tells you who you are. Hey, good morning to my brethren. Jason McPhee, my brother. How you doing, my brother? Yes, the song from Buju, Circumstances Make Me Who I Am. That Buju song. And in my view, circumstances make me who I am. Circumstances revealed who you are. And that's how I see that. So with that said, man, this is your boy, Mr. Johnson, a.k.a. RJ, the founder of the Healthiest Corner on Earth. And as I say goodbye to you, I want to say goodbye to Miss Carolyn Greenidge. Lovely, lovely lady. Manages, she's a port manager somewhere. Always willing to help people. Gal, you're fine. And you're her belly. With that said, goodbye, everyone. Until next time, this is your boy, Mr. Johnson, a.k.a. RJ Megan.
presence of oxygen is absolutely the absence of disease. Most chronic diseases that plague us are not happening to us, but is happening within us. We're literally eating ourselves to death, which means we're not living longer, we're dying longer. Join fitness expert Iwer Johnson, the founder of the healthiest corner on earth, located at number 92 East Drive, Chamflo, every Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. live on the Street 919 FM, where he shows you that healing the body's temple is easier than anyone would have led you to believe.
Are you searching for answers to life's questions? Those things that disturb and concern you the most? Why all the wickedness? Why the suffering in the world? Will it end? Who is responsible? Well, if so, join us right here on The Street 91.9 FM every Sunday from 5 to 6 p.m. with Brother Samuel Gooding and Roland White, where we open the Bible and find answers to all these things and more. For it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God.
Nature's Touch Massage Therapy